Hello everyone, welcome back to One Perfect Scene where I'm gonna fix the lighting. Never mind, the lighting is totally fine, I'm just a neurotic bitch. Anyway, welcome back to One Perfect Scene where we analyze the best scenes in television and try to figure out why exactly it is that everybody likes them so much. Today we have another very difficult scene for me to tackle, and that is Chidi's wave returns to the ocean from the finale of The Good Place. Now, The Good Place isn't really a show that people talk about all the time on YouTube anymore, although when it was coming out, it was a hot topic for conversation, let me tell you. Mostly because this show blends comedy and emotional moments extremely well, and this really shows you how exactly they do that in kind of the perfect way. Now, The Good Place has gotten me over the years many different times for having some exceptional drama and character work, but this moment has always stuck with me more than everything else, not only because it's a finishing point for a couple of our most important relationships in the show, but also because it has really brought me a comfort that I did not know I needed for something that I wasn't exactly thinking about yet. The interesting thing about The Good Place is it tackles really, really big questions, but it is still a sitcom. But the little pieces of advice that they give you that pertain to these different situations and these ethical problems that you might face in your life, really, really nice ideals that I think will really help you to live by. One of the big things about this scene is that I firmly believe it is good advice for anyone, and a lot of the show is based around positivity and finding your place in the universe, so I really appreciate that kind of detail. Without further ado, let's watch Chidi's wave returns to the ocean. The music that they use is so beautiful.
Partly because my mom straight up told me not to be. But this is sad, man.
Yeah. Eleanor framing this as sad is interesting for what the scene ends up being.
Picture a wave in the ocean.
It's a great way to describe it.
Measure it, its height, the way the sunlight refracts when it passes through. And then it crashes on the shore. And it's gone. But the water is still there. The wave was just a different way for the water to be for a little while. And that's one conception of death for a Buddhist. The wave returns to the ocean, where it came from, and where it's supposed to be.
Not bad, Buddhists.
Not bad. None of this is bad.
Say goodbye to me now and leave before I wake up.
Because this is the perfect moment, and that shot is so beautiful even though I know it's a green screen. Just seeing the little low note as they cut to this is so good. And then blending that comedy and the emotional moments with this calendar is just so perfect and so Chidi. I love how simple the door is.
And whenever you're ready, you just walk through.
He doesn't need time.
I'm ready.
Fucking hell. The thing about this show is it's so excellent at just turning really simple moments into something extremely powerful. The way that it just cuts away from Chidi as he walks through the door into, the ocean, and you can just hear this little breath from Janet that just kind of tells you that he's okay. Now, there's so much to analyze about how beautiful this conception of death is. Because of how scary death usually seems, it's so interesting to portray it as something that isn't bad, We see a lot of media portray death as this inevitable, huge tragedy. Even this show, honestly, a lot of times when people died, honestly, sometimes a little comedic even, but it was this tragic thing that brought so much sadness. Chidi's statement that none of what's happening here is bad really always gets me. Just because, well, the way he describes death as the wave returning to the ocean makes me feel so calm about it, and existence in general, honestly, and let me know if I'm diving too deep here and being way too much, but it's just so comforting to think the energy that we are given to live with will eventually just return. And that's the way it's meant to be. And it's not something to be sad about. I mean, of course you can be sad about it, right? You know, that's totally valid. Eleanor needs time to process this. It's interesting ending this series with characters who have lived for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, not even years. They've basically just lived for an eternity at this point, because they have so much more knowledge than we'd expect, and even though they are still similar to the people that we met in season 1, like you can clearly see exactly where they have grown from, they are in such a wildly different place mentally. To see Chidi be so accepting of something that is completely unknown to him, to everyone, not even Janet knows, you know? He had all the answers to the universe, and he decides that he wants to walk into the unknown. It's an amazing piece of character development for Chidi, which is why I think this scene gets me so emotional. It's because he's come such a long way. And it's also, of course, it's simple in that it's two lovers saying goodbye. I mean, it doesn't even have to be more complicated than that, but they make it into something that brings you comfort rather than makes you sad. Now, I cry every time I watch the scene. This one time was no different, but it's not really a crying out of, like, depression. It's more me being really happy for these characters and the fact that they're able to find peace. And, you know, Chidi's energy will go back, as we saw when, you know, Eleanor walked through the door. Little piece of her energy kind of fell into the universe. It's a really interesting way to depict life and death and the afterlife, and the fact that you get to choose to end it when you want. I thought this was a great way to punctuate the series. And this scene, even more so than Eleanor walking into the gate, really, really hit home, and definitely kind of taught me exactly what the show was trying to say this whole time. I will never forget this series for teaching me this lesson. But that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a comment below and consider checking us out on Patreon at patreon.com/positivt. That's POSITVTY. There you can get all this content before it gets on YouTube. You get to choose whatever you want to see, and you get reactions uncut and unblurred, so you can see the whole reaction with us as we watch it. So it's a pretty cool way to support us, but also get more content for yourself. So please do that if you want to see this channel grow into something more, and leave a like and let us know what you would like to see for next time. My words were kind of all over the place. I'm a little out of practice. I just had the stomach flu for a week, so give me a break. And hopefully I'll be back on my game. But I think I said everything I wanted to say about this. I'll find it in the edit. Bye!